Hello, and welcome to the show, Sports Talk with Fat Larry, keeping you informed and in the know. Well, Labor Day has just passed, and we had a mountain full of games. Wasn't it fun to finally have football back? So, what I'm going to do, as I always do, is start off with my HBCUs. And so, I'm going to run you some scores of some of the games that went on in the SWAC. And quite naturally, I'm going to run you the first game that was important to me. Quite naturally, because I'm right here in Houston, and we had the Labor Day Classic that featured Texas Southern versus Prairie View. And yes, to all my Prairie View haters, I am going to give you your due today. You all put it on us. But we'll go into further detail on that. We're going to cover topics like J.r. Richard being inducted to the Astros Hall of Fame in passing recently. We're going to discuss the Astros and where they are, and just some of the big games that were played this past week. So let's get right into it. TSU, I'm going to give you the score, but I'm going to give you my opinion first. Me and some other alumni were at the game, and the guys played hard. But I'm just going to do like the young kids say, and that's keep it real. I'm going to tell you that TSU showed no aggressiveness. Let me say that again, because I want to make sure everybody understands. They showed no aggressiveness. There was a female sitting behind me at the game that understood that better than what the TSU coaches did. TSU would get Prairie View in a 3rd and long, or in a situation where they had to do something spectacular. And what we would do is, since we haven't been putting pressure on the quarterback the whole game, we go into a prevent defense, only rush 3. And every time they did that, the young lady behind me said, "What are they doing? They're not going to put any pressure on the quarterback. He's going to have all day to find a receiver," which is exactly what happened. So, yes, I'm a TSU alum and a fan, but one more time, I'm going to keep it real. I felt like the guys played hard, but there was some dumb mistakes made. And before I forget, because when you get to be my age, you forget. So let me run this by you. Now, I've had Coach McKinney on the show, and he swayed me into feeling good about his philosophy and what he's doing for the program to get it started in the right direction. And I still feel that way. But there's something that's lacking in that I see. And that is that, one, decision making on the sidelines for your coordinators. 2, when these guys make the same bonehead mistake, I understand every coach and every person has their own demeanor. And it looks to me that Coach McKinney is just cool and calm, just like Sunday morning. You know, nothing seems to disturb him the way as he's ranting and raving, which there's nothing wrong with that. There are coaches that are like Coach McKinney that get the job done. But I can't have a player make the same bonehead mistake and don't get chewed out. Better still, get put on the bench for a half of the game. Those things hurt. They had Prairie View bogged down. I don't know if it's the first half or the second half. And ball punted to him. Some guy makes a bonehead mistake and give Prairie View a ball again. And the lady behind me again, one more time, this lady knew her football. She said, "You can't do that. You can't have the ball, make a mistake, a bonehead mistake, and give them the ball. They're going to get some points." And Prairie View proceeded to march right down the field and scored. So they don't need any help, these other teams. We need to be aggressive. Not on 3rd and 12, you drop 3 guys on the line and give him all day to throw the pass. That doesn't help. Be aggressive. You have nothing to lose. You say we're going in another direction. Show your aggressiveness. I didn't like the fact that when we got that first turnover, that we didn't run the ball in from the 5. One more time. You saying you're going to be different? Show you're going to be different. Show people that we're going to push this ball in on the ground. And it didn't happen. We got 3. So I could be all day, my whole show talking about that, but I'm not. But I want to congratulate PV, coaching staff, and players for playing hard and winning the game. And one more time, I think our guys played hard. There are some mistakes that can be corrected, but there's no mistake about aggressiveness on defense and offense. I don't think we saw but 2 passes past 8-10 yards. Prairie View went deep often and scored twice off of it. Go deep sometime. You don't know what might happen. So they showed no aggressiveness. But I'm still on the bandwagon. Actually, we'll be going to Waco to watch them fight the Baylor Bears. So I'm pulling for them. And I know everybody else out in Tigerland is too. So with that said, let me go over some other SWAC scores in the conference. And there were a few surprises. The surprise to me started off with Grambling State beating Tennessee State. You know, Grambling has been in a free fall, but they righted the ship and they beat Tennessee State. That also was the first game for Eddie George at Tennessee State. Another big name person at a HBCU coaching. So Eddie George, I had some statements where he made that he's satisfied with where they're coming and where they're getting to, the team, but he felt like they could have easily won that game. And you look at the stats and you kind of believe it. But anyway, Grambling beat Tennessee State. Then we had the SWAC, past SWAC champion from the spring, Alabama A&M, defeated South Carolina State University. That looked like it was a barn burner, 42-41. The past MVP offensively of the SWAC, what is the young man? Akil Glass threw 4 touchdowns. And as I said before the season started, if you're going to be a championship team, you got to play 1, defense, and 2, you got to have a difference maker at quarterback. And Alabama A&M has that. And speaking of that, the team that Alabama A&M beat spring championship game was UAPB, University of Arkansas, Pine Bluff. And one more time, Pine Bluff beat. Let me find out who the Arkansas Pine Bluff beat. They beat Lane College 34-16. They have a little quarterback about 5'11", Skylar Perry. One more time, a difference maker. When there's nothing there, these guys make something out of nothing. Then you had Troy defeated Southern University 55-3. You had UTEP beat Bethune-Cookman. Now, they beat them 38-28, but Bethune-Cookman, that tells me they showed up. They may have gotten beat, but they showed up in El Paso. Then you had Mississippi Valley. They lost to Murray State 35-0. Quite naturally, Alcorn, week prior, had already lost to North Carolina Central University in Atlanta. And you had Jackson State, nationally televised game. And let me stop there for a second. People talk about Deion being big-headed and everything go his way and this and that. I love what he's doing. You know, Jackson State is in the news all the time. And all it does is when he gets an opportunity, he'll drop a leaf for another HBCU team. He's already said he can't understand how they had almost 300 players drafted and not one player from the SWAC was. So he puts his pride aside and want to do whatever it is he can do for HBCUs. And so I have no problem with Deion. Getting back to it, Deion, Jackson State played Willie Simmons, the head coach at FAMU. I knew it was going to be a good game. I actually kind of like, since it was in Florida, had FAMU picked by a couple of points or 3. But Jackson State prevailed and they beat FAMU. So that was a good game. Then you had Alabama State beat Miles College 14-13. That was a good game. So all the schools played this past weekend during Labor Day. They played in some good contests. One last thing for them, I'm going to tell you who they will play next week. TSU will be at Baylor, as I've already stated. UAPB will be at Central Arkansas. FAMU at Fort Valley State. Grambling State will be playing at Southern Mississippi. Alabama A&M will be playing at Bethune-Cookman. That should be a good one. You got Prairie View playing in Cornet Word in San Antonio. And Southern playing Miles College. Alabama State will be at Auburn. It's just like us playing Baylor. You know, we still going to follow our school and wish the best for them. But the name of the game is getting paid. So Alabama State is going to Auburn to get paid, and TSU is going to Baylor to get paid. Trust me, they want to win, but we understand what the bottom line is. Is there one last game? Yes, it is. Alcorn will be playing Northwestern State out of Louisiana. So there are your scores from this past Labor Day. And then here is the upcoming week. So if you're not doing anything, go out and support one of the HBCU schools and go to the game. You get treated to a nice game, and then plus you get the halftime. Okay, moving on. I want to talk about J.R. Richards of the Houston Astros. J.R. just recently passed a couple weeks ago. And his scenario is one that I don't know if all you sports buff out there are like me. You know, I know a lot of things about sports from back in the day. Gale Sayers. Gale Sayers was one tremendous, great running back. Played for the Chicago Bears, but he only played about 4 or 5 years because of knee injury. But they knew the greatness that he possessed, and he went on to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Not down the road, but his first chance. And I'm saying that to say this about JR. It's funny how things impact your life and your image. JR, after suffering a stroke and coming out of baseball, fell on hard times and kind of became a bum and homeless, this has been reported. So I said that to say that JR during his time before he had his stroke was the most feared, and let me say that again, feared pitcher in baseball. The current baseball coach or manager for the Houston Astros, I laugh every time I hear him talk about this, about how when they used to play the Astros, guys would come up with J.R.itis. There's no such a thing. What he's saying is nobody wanted to face him. 6'8", 225 fireballer. 300 strikeouts, couple years in a row. The guy was on his way to becoming a Hall of Famer. But that's neither here nor there. I imagine down the road he probably would get some consideration. But what I'm proud of is to say that the Astros did induct J.R. Richardson to their Ring of Honor. I don't think nobody is more deserving than J.R. Richards. He picked himself up out of the dirt after falling into the situation he was, as I spoke of, became a better man, and down the stretch at the end, he was living a good life. So we want to send our condolences out to his family and let them know that we remember J.R. Richards. for the man that he was. Let's go into some pro football. I know you Texans out there think I'm going to spend my time talking about what the Texans doing. Nope, ain't going to happen. Houston, Texas, I'm a homer. And actually, I really don't have a football team, like I did when I was younger. I just like watching the games. But I'm going to give you my picks out of each conference. And what I want you to do is take a break right here, hit that subscribe button, that share button, and that like button, and hit that bell for me. And what I want you to do also is, I just spoke about a couple of topics that are conversational. On the comment section down below, tell me what you think about JR. Do you feel like he should be in the Hall of Fame? Tell me what you think about what I said about TSU's play calling for the Labor Day Classic against Prairie View. Let me know. I can take constructive criticism. And also what you can do is email me at fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com. You can email me at fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com. And one more time, hit that subscribe button so every time we do a show and it drops, you'll get notified. Now, what we were talking about is I am going to now pick the teams for NFL. Way ahead of the season getting started. Well, not way ahead. Season starts this week. In the NFC West, I'm going with the LA Rams, and I'm also going to be listing a second team, meaning that who knows. But one more time, NFC West, I'm going to go with the LA Rams. They got so much firepower on defense. If they can just get their offense untagged, I can't see it. And I'm giving Seattle the second place because of one person, Russell Wilson. The NFC South, Tampa Bay / New Orleans. I think Tampa Bay, defense only going to get better. And now that Brady is acclimated to his players, I think they're going to get better on offense. And the Saints can never count them out. NFC East. Now this division, good God. I think maybe if Alabama A&M was in this division, they might could do a little something. They got the Cowboys, Philadelphia, New York Giants, and the Washington football team. But I'm going to go with the Washington football team / the Cowboys and Eagles. I had to put somebody second, so I say / the Cowboys and Eagles. NFC North, got the Green Bay Packers, and I'm looking for them to be chased by the Chicago Bears. AFC South, we got the Tennessee Titans / the Indianapolis Colts. Depending on the play we get from the Colts quarterback position, they could challenge Tennessee, but Tennessee should be feeling good about themselves from last year. They keep a pretty good defense. So I got Tennessee in the South. AFC East, I got the Buffalo Bills / the Miami Dolphins. The Bills are on the up, and they look like they're going to not take any prisoners. They got a great young defense, and the quarterback is, to me, is in the top 5. One more time, I like quarterbacks that when there's nothing there, they can make something out of nothing. They have one, Josh Allen. In AFC North, I got the Steelers / the Baltimore Ravens. I know some of you Cleveland Brown fans are saying, what about Cleveland? Hey, Cleveland got to show me. I'm not from Missouri, but they got to show me what they're going to do. Steelers and Baltimore got track records. And so I got Pittsburgh first and Baltimore Ravens running them behind. In the NFC West, no-brainer. I got the Kansas City Chiefs. But if the Chargers, can get their act together, Chargers should be a good team. And in the Super Bowl, I got Tampa Bay versus Kansas City for a repeat. And that is my picks for the football. Real quick, Houston Astros, we're in first place. We've had a lot of injuries, but it's almost time for the playoffs to start. They need to stop losing to these second-tier teams and start building their momentum for the playoffs. As I said in the beginning of the season, they got the hitting. If the pitching can just hold on, I picked the Astros to go to at least the American League Conference Finals. And I think they can do it. And if they can win that, they're going to the World Series. I also want to talk about University of Houston getting offered an opportunity to join the Big 12. I think that was a terrible loss when they lost to Tech. Not that it's going to ruin their season, but they've been trying so hard to get into a Power 5 conference. They had an opportunity by beating Tech, and they didn't do it. So, I'm feeling like they need to get on track too. I think that it needs to be said, I want to appreciate all of the people that attended the Labor Day Classic. We had a campaign, as you may know if you watched this show for weeks, that we wanted you to fill the stands. Had a wonderful turnout. So we don't want it to stop there. We want you to keep supporting Prairie View, and we want you to keep supporting TSU. And if we can just get ourselves a little luck down the road, maybe things will turn for us. Also, what I want to talk about today is a little NBA basketball. I want to kind of like throw my haters a little bone. I know you talked about us after we got put out in the first round, us being the Lakers. I don't have my Laker gear on, but trust me, always won. What do you guys think? As I told you a moment ago, hit me on my email, fatlarrypodcast@gmail.com, or write a comment down below what you think about what I'm about to say. I don't do too much Laker hating at the bottom of the comment. But anyway, what do you think about my Lakers adding Carmelo Anthony, Trevor Ariza, Russell Westbrook, and we just got DeAndre Jordan, which we got Dwight Howard in the first one. Everybody's out there talking about we need Geritol instead of Gatorade, but that's okay. I want y'all to do just like what LeBron told y'all. We want to see all that fire in April when we start playing, and definitely in June when we start playing for that big gold trophy. Yes, I am a homer, baby, but I just want all you people to know that the Lakers are going to be the team to beat in the West. I don't care nothing about no Phoenix, no Clippers, none of that. So get with me when it's time. And my brother that also got on me by Prairie View beating us in football, I know it's all in fun, and we want everybody to understand this is all in fun. Call me in January when the basketball team is the court, and we go up to the hill and spank y'all real good. Call me in March when we spank y'all again in the tournament. So that's just going out to this guy. He knows who he is about Prairie View beating. But he is right. I got to eat crow on that. They beat us this past Labor Day weekend. And I gave him his kudos on that. And that is that, hey, I'm happy for PV. I just want PV now to continue winning. As long as they didn't beat TSU, I was good. So I was good as long as they didn't beat TSU. But now I'm pulling for PV. And that's the way it should be. PV should pull for TSU when we're not playing you. Also, the last topic I'm going to cover today is about Sha'carri Richardson. You know, this is a young talent that has nothing but the sky as her limit. But I don't know who's in her camp, and I don't want to seem like I'm right and she's wrong. But what I'm trying to talk about now is that you got your name out there in the public as one of the fastest people in the world. Show your pride and your dignity and your professionalism when you're discussing other runners, or if you get beat. There's nothing wrong with getting beat in track. All that does is make you go back to the drawing board and make sure you don't get beat the next time. But we don't need the name calling. It's more detrimental to you. If you're worried about your street image, then that's good. But if you're worried about your image to become commercially successful in the business field, just kind of try to tone it down. And you can still be opinionated, but not to the point where you're ruffling everybody's feathers. I think Sha'carri, one more time, the sky's the limit. What's she, 20, 21 years old? She's going to get it together, but she just needs to get herself together also. So with that being said, because I know it's already been talked about on here, I don't want to drag it through the weeds. But with that being said, we want to end on a positive note, and that is that I want everyone to have a great day and a great week. Until the next time.